Welcome to another episode of Awesome Kids All the Time. And we want to talk this time about how to raise successful kids. And man, there are books and TED Talks and everything else about there about how to have successful kids, you know, build the right portfolio, get them in the right schools, build a big resume. We're going to make it much more simple here with what we think real success is with our children, okay? And first thing I want to talk about is, well, I want you to talk about this one actually, is how do we build security in our lives? That's going to help our kids be successul. What does that look like?
Yeah, because we care about who our kids are, not what our kids do.
Correct.
That's what real success looks like. So security is so important in raising successful kids. Our kids need to feel secure, especially in our family. That needs to be a safe place for them. Now, it's a safe place for us, but we're building a sanctuary for them too. And so what does that look like? Well, it looks like orderliness. Kids feel secure when their environment is orderly.
Okay, so you're talking about a clean house?
I am talking about a clean house where things are organized, where kids know they know where things go. Too much stuff is a distraction. And we already deal with a distracting world, right? Kids are on social media, there's TV, there's everything's busy. An orderly home provides security. The second thing we do is provide a schedule that works for the entire family. One of the kind of pitfalls we've seen with especially families that have 3, 4, 5 children is that we make a schedule for our teenagers or our older elementary school kids, and we expect our toddlers to function well in it, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to be respectful of every family member. If we want our kids to be successful, we build a schedule that fits everyone. And I know you have some thoughts on that since COVID.
Right. Well, I've been a big proponent of building some margins into your day and into your week. I think that's hugely important. And here, you know, none of us would have liked COVID, and none of us are really enjoying it. But one of the things that came out of it was God hit the big reset button on life. And all of a sudden, overnight, we all had a bunch of time on our hands. We had margins built back into our lives. And as a pastor, I couldn't force people to put margins back into their lives. But now, overnight, we've got margins, and we're enjoying it. There ought to be, what do I mean by a margin? There ought to be at least 1 or 2 nights a week where you don't have anything planned, where you come up to dinner time and you go, hey, what are we doing tonight? And you go, I don't know. You want to watch a movie?
You want to pull a game out?
You want to do a puzzle? You want to play a game? There's nothing planned. But the typical American family not only has every moment of every day planned, they've got 3 things planned all at the same time every day. And we wonder why we're pulling our hair out and going crazy, right? So come out of COVID, right? And keep those margins in your life, please.
Right.
And it builds security.
Although there may be some children that thrive in that busyness, although I'd say every child gets overwhelmed with it, there are other children in your family who thrive on quietness. And if they're forced into busyness all the time, they're going to be anxious, which is just the opposite of secure.
Number 1 is security. Number 2 then is be the parent. And in our 9 Practices of the Proactive Parent DVD series, we talk about this all the time, right? You're not the peer, you're the parent. And so somebody has to say no sometimes. Okay. And that's okay, mom and dad. It's okay to say no.
It's good.
It's actually good. You need to be the parent. They've got plenty of friends. They got plenty of peers. You don't need to be a buddy with your kid. When your kids are little, you're the authority in their life, right? Be the parent and don't be ashamed of it. Don't apologize for it. Your kids need you to be the parent.
And part of being the parent is keeping parent things private, which means this may even fall into the security aspect, but we don't fight in front of the kids.
Right.
If you want your kids to be anxious and insecure, fight in front of them.
Right. So don't call me names. Don't throw things at me. Don't, chase me up the stairs.
Right.
You shouldn't be doing any of those sort of things. I agree.
and vice versa. All right. One final area that helps our kids to be successful. And this one just kind of slips by and we miss it sometimes. If something is important to our children, now it's important to us.
Yes.
Even if it seems trivial, even when they come home crying about something that we're like, in 10 minutes, that's not even going to matter. For that 10 minutes, it does matter.
You can be an ear. You can be sympathetic.
Yeah, you can. And again, that's part of building sanctuary.
Right. If it's important to you, it becomes important to me, right? That's a good marriage. If it's important to our kids, can it be important to you, mom and dad? Yeah, you don't always have to be the poop about everything.
Right.
Saying no doesn't mean that you're always the poop.
Right.
Right. So it's actually two different things.
And it also isn't dismissing
Right.
things.
So how to make your kids successful? Number one, build security into their lives, and that's scheduling and orderliness in the house, and keeping those margins in your life, and taking the arguments upstairs and quietly having them. Number two is be the parent. Don't be afraid to say no. They don't need another peer. They need you to be the parent. Okay. And then the final one is, if it's important to them, it can be important to you as well as a parent. Yep. I think that's great counsel. That's really good. You want to have awesome kids all the time? Well, help them to be successful in this way. Now, if you want to know more, you can always go to the store at characterhealth.store. I'm Dr. Steve Scheibner.
And I'm Megan Scheibner.
This has been our Awesome Kids Moment. Well, thanks for watching that clip on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our weekly content. See you soon.